I started this a while ago just for my private clients and people that are members of my online tech school, which is Darci with an I training.com. And what happened was I asked people to ask questions every month, and I'd kind of cover them, and people would show up, but they didn't have any questions. So then I kind of opened it up a little bit more to other people to show you things that I see are problems all the time with agents, because when I privately work with them, it's just consistent problems with document signing, which we're going to talk about today. So anybody, let me just see, nobody said anything in the chat. Can you say who you are, where you're from? If you have any questions, at least say hello so I know you can hear me okay. Again, there's a little chat, and then a little box pops up, and you can just type in information there. Okay, let me just wait until somebody's tapped on the chat. I don't know why no one has. Ray, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Loud and clear.
Okay, I don't know, you guys are, and again, this is part of the thing for me doing these webinars. I don't like sitting just talking to people. I like it to be interactive. So we'll monitor the chat. So if I do something or a question pops up, please go to the chat and ask the question. If you know how to unmute yourself, feel free to do that. It's a fairly small group this morning, and I want you to get great value out of this. So again, nobody's gone into the chat. Does someone want to unmute yourself and tell me why? I don't know why. Okay, so here's the thing that I also want to talk about, because document signing is really important, but it also is, as you know, when I talk to agents about how things work, is that what's really important is how your email is set up. So because all software you attach your email address to, right? So you want it to be your business email, your name at yourdomain.com, not your Shaw, not your at Gmail, not your at Yahoo or Hotmail or TELUS. You need to have a business email address because you're a business person, okay? Now, could it partly because everything flows better when it's properly set up, but also, could you be losing a business deal because all things being equal, exactly the same, you go to a listing presentation and you're Joe Realtor 1973 at yahoo.ca, and the other one is Joe at Vancouver Homes or TorontoHomes.com, right? Could it be the tipping point? Absolutely. So I really want you to understand that's really important. Ray's going to put in the link that we offer this 1.5 hour session to people. So if this kind of stuff is confusing to you about email, about cloud storage, about electronic document signing, sign up for it, and you and I will work one-on-one looking at your stuff. Okay, let's get started. Are you ready? And also think about, nobody's chatted still. Oh, hold on, one person. Oh, that was Ray. Man, you guys, tough crowd this morning. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to be using DocuSign, but also I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe you'll answer in the chat. Who's using document signing? Are you using AuthentiSign or DocuSign, or there's other ones out there, .loop, many other types of document signing. What are you using? Can you just go into the chat and let me know? And because that'll tailor how I talk about what I'm talking about today. I will talk about DocuSign specifically today, but know that all document signing software is similar, okay? Does that make sense? It's all similar. The process is the same. The software is different. So I want you to understand a little bit about the intricacies of DocuSign. All right, so you can see my screen. I'm going to show you how to do this on an iPad too, but I want to show you first logging on to DocuSign. And as you can see in my screen, I want to show you a couple things that a lot of people don't know about. So let's say you're, for some reason, gosh, I'm married to an agent, so when would this ever happen that you don't have a mobile device with you, right? But let's say you didn't, and you're out at a party somewhere and you have to do an offer. I'm going to guess that most people would get in their car, not drinking, get in their car and have to drive back and go do the document signing on their computer at their office or home, right? But think about this. If you're at my house, you could log on to your document signing software. So this is DocuSign. And in here, look at this. here it says, well, go get your documents from somewhere. So from the hard drive of this computer. But I also could say, I use Google Drive, go to Google Drive, and it doesn't matter where I am in the world. I can log on, get access to my documents that are on Google Drive. Do you understand that? Like, that's really, really, really important to understand, because almost all software you can link your cloud storage account. So again, I'm going to talk about that. If you have a business email, darci@darcitalks.com, right? Then I have that email is attached to my Google Drive account. So if I'm sharing documents or I have to go in there, it's always attached to my business email. So let me just see, you guys are getting smart now. You've got you putting, I mean, unless it's Ray. William, oh, you guys are all using Authentisign. Okay, so there's a few people using Authentisign, which is fine. I'm not a huge fan of Authentisign when you're really being a mobile agent, which I'm going to show you on my iPad in a minute. But I want you to also think about this on Authentisign as well. Their markup tools are different, and markup tools, if you don't know what that is, that just means the strike through and adding text, okay? I personally like DocuSign better, and I know the price is more expensive, but I also know that with agents, you know, I don't know, I think that it's not that expensive compared to what it can do. If it can save you, you're out in somewhere, it takes an hour to drive down to go do DocuSign, an hour back. How much time does that save you? You get to stay at your kid's soccer game or out for dinner with friends like that. Even if it was $500 a year, which it isn't, I still think it's worth it. But most of the time you can get deals with DocuSign through your brokerage or through Kriya. Okay. All right. You ready? Let me just see. Anybody else out there? Okay. So if you could say hello, the people who have just joined us, say hello in the chat, ask questions as we go along. I hate just sitting here talking at you. Again, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you DocuSign here, and then on the iPad, a truly mobile experience, okay? Good morning, Melvin. Good morning, Robert, William. I don't know who else is there. Good morning. Okay, so I'm logged on to DocuSign web version, and you must understand the difference. Okay, this is DocuSign web version, meaning I'm using a browser to access it. This is not a touchscreen, I'm using my mouse. Is this painful using the DocuSign web version? Same with Authentisign or anything that is, you're using a non-configured software for a touchscreen. Try and do it, it's painful. That's why DocuSign has a mobile app, and I'm going to talk about that today. Authentisign, yeah, the last time I tried their mobile app, it was horrible. So all things being equal, you're using a big computer, they're kind of the same, but when you're truly mobile, I would be using DocuSign. But I don't care what you use as long as you use it. But I'm going to show you today, are you ready? Hi, Garth. I'm going to show you today the intricacies of DocuSign, some weird things about it that you might not know and that you haven't thought about, okay? All right, so let's get started. Enough about me. I'm going to go get that document. Where's my... Also, I'm going to give you little tips as we go along. I'm on a Windows computer, but Macs do this as well. Over on the left-hand side, anything that I'm going to all the time or I'm currently working on is always on my quick access. On a Mac, it's on my favorites. So you don't have to sit and drill down through your specific subfolders and subfolders and subfolders. I've seen it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go grab a document, okay? So I'm uploading an offer and I am going to say next. And then you add the recipient. So always on all software, you get the offer from somewhere, or you get the document from somewhere. Either you create it in web forms, send it up to Authentisign, create it in web forms, send it up to DocuSign. I'm going to talk about editing today because I think most people get the easy part where you don't have to edit it, okay? But this is the part where people go, I don't know what to do, all right? So here we are. I'm just going to add test person. And if you know me, I like the Flintstones and the Rebels. So I'm going to put Fred Flintstone, okay? And I'm going to use this email address, okay, Fred Flintstone, and I'm going to add his partner, Wilma Flintstone. And I'm going to put her to my Yahoo account. Okay, so you're going to see what the difference is. So we've got an offer. We're going to do a counter using DocuSign, which is fine. It's not editing software inside DocuSign, but I know agents do this and you muck it up, so I'm going to show you how, okay? And if you didn't know, I teach a DocuSign course at the board. There's a half-day session on basics and then a half-day on editing, okay? All right, so this part makes sense, right? What I want you to understand is this set signing order. Now, by default, I don't believe it's on. I'm going to take it off because I want you to understand what happens if you don't put this on. Because then you have to understand the software, okay? So Fred Flintstone and Wilma Flintstone and needs to sign, that's great. Okay, so do you see now, not everybody, you should, but you see that there's a strike through? They're called markup tools. Authentisign, you also have markup tools, you have a strike through, and you have a text field. I'm hoping at some point DocuSign will add the text field, because this is the part that kind of confuses people. What I want you to understand about this is that right now, let's just think of this as a piece of paper that's sitting up on a computer, all right? If I do the strike through, let's go down. I'm just going to strike through 950. If I do the strike through here, isn't that beautiful? Lovely. So if I muck up, I can just move it around to where I want it to be, right? Does that make sense? Because all it is a field that we put on the piece of paper. Except when it's a markup tool, this line is attached directly to the piece of paper. All right, hopefully it'll make sense when I go and I add the other stuff for Fred Flintstone. So now I'm going to go and grab the standard fields for adding text. So remember, I'm now working on Fred Flintstone's name. So what most agents do is they say, hey, I'm just going to put the text here, and I'm going to put, I don't know, 1 million. Okay, ignore my typos, whatever. I just want to get this done. Okay, 1 million. What most agents don't realize is that you need to put, anytime you're putting text on, is read only. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, I'm going to do it over here. I did read only there, and I'm going to put 1 million here. And I'm not going to do read only on this one so you can see the difference. Normally I would, and I would suggest you did. Again, ignore my typos because I'm just trying to do this fast. I'm not going to fix anything. But again, I go back and do the line. Here's the line, okay? The line is attached to the piece of paper. I can't stress that enough. The line is attached to the piece of paper. This yellow is attached to Fred. Does that make sense? So hopefully your brain's going, oh, I get it. Okay, so let's initials for Fred. Initials for Fred. And now what do we do? I'm not going to do the whole form. Wilma. And initials for Wilma. And initials for Wilma. So think this through, my friends. If I sent this right now and Wilma gets it first, do you know what Wilma will see? This is where agents don't get it. And you could be in trouble if it ever goes to court. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what will happen. Okay. So this goes, and I think I did, this is, oh, and you can change I would always change the subject. This is offer on Main Street. I can't remember what the address is, but blah, 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 blah. Then I put in special info. Wilma is my Yahoo account, so I'm going to have a test one. Where did you find those markup fields? Hi, Pam. Good morning. The markup fields, I'll go back to that, but the markup fields where it actually says markup on the left-hand side, if you don't see it, let me hit send and then let's get this going so I can log on as to my Yahoo account, yahoo.com. If you don't see it, you need to call DocuSign. All real estate versions have it. And if you don't, it's just they've mucked it up, okay? And Yahoo, Darci's test account. So oh, here, hold on, Darci, was it 2006? And I don't have to put that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. Sorry. This is the problem. Yahoo, maybe you're just going to make me just a sec. Oh, come on. Oh, you guys, I just tested this yesterday. Hold on. How can I do this to make it faster? Just a sec. I wanted to show you what happens. Darci2006 at yahoo.com. Next, sign into. Why is it making me do the app? I don't have the app on my phone. Oh, try another way to sign in. There we go. Let me just get that. That makes, 604, 306. No, 58. I don't know if I was doing this. 1 second, you guys. Hold on. Send a verification code. There we go. Hold on. Bear with me. WMAGBFG. Okay. Phew. I don't know why it didn't do it yesterday. Okay, so here it is. Now remember where we are, that I am Wilma. Okay, I am Wilma. So I get the thing, the email that says go and sign, and watch what Wilma's going to see. And I think you'll be shocked. All right. I'm going to just flip down here. Okay, are you guys shocked? Remember, the markup that's the strike through is attached to the piece of paper, so I see that, but the text was attached to Fred. So this would not stand up in court if Wilma didn't even know what the counter was, right? Does that make sense? Are you going, oh my goodness? Now, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to hit finish. Anytime a client hasn't hit finish, I can still go in and edit it and make it right. So you went, oh my goodness, I better fix that. So I'm going to log back in. I'm going to go back to manage, waiting for others. It should be here, the Main Street one. I'm going to tap on it and I'm going to correct it. Okay. So I'm correcting it. Here's the page. I go back in and I'm going to say set signing order. So Fred gets it first. And those ones that were attached to Fred, right? This is Fred. We scroll down. This text is attached to Fred. Now there's other ways around this, but I just want to show you this. So that means that Fred gets it first. He signs off on it. When Wilma gets it, Wilma will see the $1 million and Fred's initials. Does that make sense? Yes? Tell me it does, you guys. And let me show you, Pam. You asked the question, where's the markup? It's the little editing one. You guys need to contact DocuSign to also ask them to add the text field as a markup tool as well, because let me go back here. I'm gonna, oh, we can't see hers. Hold on. I'll do it as Fred in a second. Because remember on this one, I said not read only. That means that Fred, when he gets to it, he could, you ready? He could get in there and change it. Now, would they? Probably not. But I would say if you can remember anything, whenever you're using DocuSign this way for editing, what you want to do is you want to always set signing order, and you always want to say read only on the text fields that you add, and then you're good to go. Does that make sense? You didn't know this, right? Yeah, and the problem is that your clients they're just signing and they might just sign away and not realize or ever say anything. So that's really important. I have the text fields, but not the markup tools. Okay, then if I think you're a paying client, Pam, you need to phone DocuSign, because I have seen that before where they're paying clients and for some reason you don't have the markup, or you might have the wrong version of DocuSign. There's actually a real estate version. Most organizations don't need to edit documents. They're only signing it, right? It's only our weird industry that actually edits documents. So you want to make sure you call DocuSign and get them to sort it out. But if you're a paying client, you should see this markup tool, okay? Okay, so let's do this properly now. I set signing order, go back and next. I'm going to say correct and send. Okay. So now I'm going to log on as Fred. That was with my Gmail email. Okay. And that was with my other test email. You guys should not have, if you guys were not listening to me before, all agents should only have one email account, and it should be your business account. Now, I have other ones because I am a tester of everything, and so I need to test stuff. Okay. Okay, so now this is me as Fred Flintstone. You ready? So here we are, offer. La, la, la. Okay, review. And it will always say, you should know this. It'll always ask if DocuSign can have wherever they are, if they're on their phone or online, it'll say, can we track your location? Tell them to say yes. It'll still work if they say no, but it's better if they say yes. We say continue, start. Now see, See this? This is the one that I have put read only. So I, as Fred, cannot edit this. This is the one that I didn't. So Fred could go in here and say 1.2, which mucks up your contract, right? Does that make sense now? And then Fred's going to sign. Again, Wilma's not even going to see anything or get notified until, if she went to go in it now, it would say can't do, until Fred is finished. Do you understand how cool that is? So it's pretty cool. And now if I go back on Yahoo, I'm going to refresh this. Go back to my inbox. I'm just going to tap on review document. Okay, now look at this. Now I'm Wilma. Now I see Fred's initials and what he changed it to, right? And now I, as Wilma, this is the first time Wilma using DocuSign. I adopt it and done. Okay, tell your friends, you guys. Oh my goodness, is that not, I've seen this done so many times so wrong, and you probably don't even know that you're doing it wrong. Does that make sense? Yes? Hey, Ray, put the link in again. Again, I can't tell you again about how important it is to have your name at yourwebsite.com. You're welcome, Garth, to be set up properly. So all these other things like DocuSign, your CRM, your devices all talk to each other. Ray's going to put a link in there if you want an hour-and-a-half session to help me look at your stuff and get it all sorted. That's there. You can click on that and we can do that. Okay. Okay. So any questions on this? Because I'm now going to flip it over to, hey, real world, where you're out and about on with your iPad. I'm going to use my iPad because it's way easier. Honest to goodness. You can do it on a small little device, but it's way easier on a bigger iPad. Right? On even a mini, whatever. It's just a lot easier than the small screen trying to zoom in and add stuff. Is it doable? Absolutely. And will it take less time than driving back to wherever you had to drive to go do it on a big computer? Yes. So you know what I mean? You can do it, but just for the sake of time and my sanity, I'm going to do it on my iPad. Has anyone ever done one directly, just an offer on your phone or your iPhone or Android or any kind of wireless device from start editing to finish? Anybody? I'm going to show you that. You have, yeah, Pam, of course you have. Okay, so I got to get this cool software started again that I use. Hold on, Air Server, that I can show you my iPad on the screen, which is pretty cool. Okay, just a sec. Let's make sure it works. Come on. Yay. Okay. So you guys now see my actual iPad. How cool is that? Okay. So here I am in my iPad, and I open up, and I already did a test offer. Hold on. Where's the, where did I do a test offer? It was way over here. Okay. Test offer. So I open it up. I look at this offer and I go, oh, I don't like that. I'm going to change it. Okay. So this is what you do. I'm on an Apple. Android's slightly different, but you probably know your device, but there's ways to go from looking at it here and then moving it through the process. Remember that process? The process is you get the document from somewhere, web forms, from an email like I'm doing, on your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever you're using. So you can go get the document from somewhere, look at it, and then you can then take it or move it to the editing process. Now, in the last example, we did it on DocuSign. Again, remember, DocuSign isn't really an editing software yet. They did throw in the line for us, but it's not truly editing software. So you want to edit it somehow, right? So editing, and then you want to send it for signing. Does that make sense? So right now I'm looking at it. I think that's horrible. I'm going to counter. So on Apple devices, see this little guy here? This is your friend. This is do more. It's the action button. Go do something else with wherever you are. So I'm going to tap on that. And I could take this directly to DocuSign if I want to sign off on it, but I want to show you how to edit it. Okay, so I'm going to go over to, I use PF Expert. There's a million other apps that are editing, right? What do you guys use? Now, I do recommend PDF Expert. I like them. But whatever you use, it doesn't matter. They all have strike-throughs and text that you can add, right? So whatever you are comfortable with, whatever app you want to use, that's awesome. But usually there's a cost for it. I can't even remember. PDF Expert was, I got a bundle, I think, for $14 or $15. It's not a year or a month. That's it. So no problem. So what this does is it's going to say, okay, I'm going to take it and I'm going to import this document into PDF Expert. So now I can easily edit it. How cool is that? Left-hand side is the editing. I actually can move this around if I want. I don't mind it on the bottom or the top or the side. You can move it around. I'm going to scroll down. This is the, oops, nope. This is where some people get confused. It's a horizontal scroll unless you change the settings. So I'm going to scroll the other way. And then I'm going to go look at that. So I want to do a strike through. What do? I tap on this guy here, right? This is the strike through. Tap on the strike through. Oops. Oh my goodness. Hello. That's me. Okay, I don't like that. Let's clear that. Okay, let's try that again. Tap on it to highlight it. All right, there we go. So now I strike through PDF Escape. Perfect. I love it. I'm using PDF Expert. And again, any apps that I recommend, Ray, can you put my resource page on there? Any apps that I recommend, I always put it on my resource page, as well as getting that business email, right, you guys? You want to do it through Google's G Suite for a lot of reasons. That's on there as well. Ray will put that on the link for everybody. Okay, so again, I'm not going to do the whole contract, but I'm in here, so I'm just going to tap on that. And then this is the text box up here, okay? I'm going to add text box, tap up there. I'm going to put, again, 1 million. Watch this. Oh, that's not how you spell million. 1 million. Okay. And okay, pretend I typed it properly. It doesn't really matter. But let's say I don't like where that is. All I did is tap in it and I can move it. Okay. This is moving it so it's in line. And then I can just move this because it's really right now just a kind of a floating field. I can put it there. And then I'm going to do another text field right here. I'm going to put 1. Oh my goodness gracious. 1 million. Easy for me, right? Pressure. And then also, if you didn't notice, I can change the font size and the color. If I wanted that to be red, I could. Super easy. If I wanted that to be moved around, I can put it wherever I want, right there, let's say. How cool is that? Any questions on that? Amazing? I'm the only one excited about this stuff. Come on. Okay, so you edit the whole document. Again, it's not, yeah, for the first few times you might muck up and go like this, right? Look at that. Oops. Then you just tap on it and say clear, then gone. Don't worry. Don't worry about it because really it's way less time than if you were driving back to go do it on the big computer, right? Just get comfortable with it, play around with the editing features so that you're not all stressed out when it comes time to actually do a counter. And they're like, oh, I don't know how to do it. But if you played around with it, you kind of get it. Listen, I do these webinars and I teach at the board and I don't use PDF Expert all the time. So yesterday and this morning I went through it again, like, okay, how do I do it again? Because I don't use it all the time, right? Unless you use it all the time. So how's that? Any questions? Because we're not done quite yet. What's the next step, you guys? So I got the document, I got the offer from email, I opened it up, looked at it, said no way. I imported it into PDF Expert or whatever document signing app you have on your device. Again, this can be done on an Android, on an iPhone, on an Android tablet, on an iPad, doesn't matter. Okay, make sense? Okay, what do you think I do next? I want to do that do more. Now the thing with apps is sometimes they don't, it's not obvious to us, but if you know that on almost all software apps, it's either the 3 dots, the do more, which is that little guy that was, I'll show you in a second, was the little square with the arrow, okay, or 3 dots. So I tap on the 3 dots and it says, there's the share here. And so I wish it didn't say share because what we're doing is we're going to go and import it into DocuSign. Okay, 3 dots, nice. So we're going to say share. Always, 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 what happens here, you guys, whatever document signing or editing you're using, and it comes up saying, do you want to do whatever it says above or flatten, you always want to flatten. This is really important. What flatten means is push those changes onto the piece of paper. If you've ever got a document where you've got it from another agent and you can move the fields around and you can make edits, it's because they did not flatten it because they don't know what they're doing. Send them to me, okay? You have to flatten it. Some software does it automatically, but if it asked you, which usually it does, then you just say flatten, okay? Now it says, oh, well, where do you want to take this to? Do you want to email it? Do you want to go DocuSign, Messenger, copy to Chrome? What do you want to do? This is what this is saying over here. I have DocuSign mobile app, so I want to copy it there for signing. So I tap on that. It might ask me to log on. I was on recently, so good. And so it says, oh, okay, here's the document. What do you want to do? Sign now is me. That is confusing for people. Sign now is me. I want to get a signature because I'm the agent. It says, okay, here's the documents. There's the old one. I think it's the second one. Oh, no, I don't know. Sorry, that's I'm going to leave them both in there because I can't remember which one's which. I was in here earlier, so I would remove the one that it's probably, it doesn't really matter. I'm just, yeah, I'll say delete. It's probably the second one. Next. And then it's, am I signing or others? Others are signing. Who's signing? Well, let's do Fred Flintstone again, and I'm going to use that same email address. He needs to sign. Yes, save. And then I'm going to add another recipient, Wilma Flintstone. Oh, she's at that Wilma Flintstone. I'm going to put a different email address, that Yahoo one, yahoo.com. Needs to sign, save. Okay, so if you notice this sets signing order automatically. I don't have a problem with that. They'll never really know who gets what first, and does it really matter? Not really. In this case, because we've already edited it, we're just adding the signatures. So if you don't put this, again, if we've edited it in some other software and we're just using DocuSign for signing and initialing, does it matter who gets it first? Usually it won't. If I go like this, if Wilma gets it first, she'll sign off. If Fred gets it first, he signs off. If I want Fred to get it first, and then Wilma, and then the third person, then the fourth person, however many people, then you can set signing order. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm just going to leave it. It doesn't really matter. Actually, it does matter. I don't really care. Okay. Oh, sorry. I meant to say next. I'm going to go next. And now here I am in that document. Again, I don't know if it's the right document. Oh, it is too good. Okay, good. I deleted the right one. Okay, so now we just want to add the placements for the initials. And again, I'm just going to do initial on here. So I tap on here and initial. And there's the initial. And tap here, initial. Okay. That's for Fred. And then now I'm going to do it for Wilma. Whoops, go back. Sorry, making you guys dizzy. Notice the colors are only for you. And again, I can move this around by just holding on to it. And I'm going to tap on here. And I don't like it there. So as soon as I highlight it, I can move it to where I want. Isn't that pretty? I could move Fred's. That's nicer. Does that make sense? How about that? So then you could do whatever, add the initials and signatures. Let me just go to the bottom. I'm just going to add a signature just because that's Fred. This is the perfect placement, just FYI. If you've worked with me at all, you know I like perfect placement. Where the line is on the line, right? Let's do Fred. I'll show you. I'll do Wilma. Change. Wilma. They've changed the software since I used it last. Okay, I'm going to do Wilma. Signature. Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, so I screwed up. This is good. I like when people screw up because then, what did I do wrong there? Do you know? I'm still on Fred and I should have been on Wilma. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, let's do this again. Signature, there we go. Let's just say, oh, that's beautiful. Okay. All right, so basically I'm done. That did not take me very long. Obviously a little bit longer if you're actually gonna do a real contract, you're gonna change the dates and other things, no problem. Go next. And again, I can change what I'm saying to this. Offer 2, I'll call it offer 2, and send. How easy was that, you guys, on the mobile version? I guarantee you, okay, you Authentisign users, you tell me if you can do that on your mobile version of Authentisign. I have found it just so painful. Yes, it's cheaper, but it is painful. Okay, so let me go over to, you ready? Let's see, I'm gonna just open this up again. Who am I in here? I'm in Fred's. Okay, so Fred's, why does it say failure? Oh, hold on, sorry, Fred, wrong email account. Yeah, try it, please, Garth, do. The difference is, here's offer 2 on Fred's. Here's the thing that you've got to understand is that what I want you to know why they have a mobile app. If we did that same thing on our phones, we opened that up and we look at the offer and then we would have to save it. And then we would have to go log on to the web version of let's say we edit it on our phone, edit it, and then we use the web version of DocuSign on your phone or tablet. Oh my goodness, because every time you move, right, it's a touch screen, it's horrible. Mobile apps, that's why they're created, to make them mobile friendly. Whereas web versions of apps on mobile devices are not always great, if that makes sense, okay? All right, so I'm Fred. I'm gonna tap in here. It would be very similar to last time because I'd said, no, it doesn't matter about signing order. So I look at this, there's Fred, he sees, you can't make any changes, he sees it, tap Fred, finish. Oh, I forgot, he's gotta sign it, finish. And then of course, Wilma would be the same, all right? That makes sense? Any questions? And here's the other thing that a lot of people don't think about. So as soon as, let me go to Wilma. Let me refresh this. Unread. Oh, did I put the wrong email address? I might have put the wrong email address. Which is no problem because you know what you can do? I could go in and change it. Yeah, I must have put the wrong email address for Wilma because it's not in here. So we could change it. So you can change things as long as, well, Wilma hasn't hit finish, but Fred has. So we may not be able to. We'll have to look at that. Let me just go into DocuSign, manage. I don't think it's going to let me. Just let's see here. Okay, so see, Fred has done it. And it's shown that Fred signed it at 9:49, but Wilma hasn't. She's viewed it. Yeah. Okay, just a sec. Correcting. Let's just see if we can change. Oh, that is the right email, darci2006@yahoo.com. Okay, well, we'll just resend it. Next. Allow recipients to change that. No, I don't know why that must have been something I did. Enable comments. I don't like that either, but let's just go like that. And we'll send the corrected ones. Any questions while we're here, you guys? We're going to be done early. I don't think it's gone anywhere. Where else would it go? Oh, technology. Anyhow, so once this does come in, what happens is that as soon as Fred signs and Wilma signs, as soon as both of them have hit complete or finish, Fred gets a copy, a PDF, Wilma gets a PDF, and you as the agent get a PDF. So there's no reason to send it to the clients. They get it, right? Does that make sense? So let me just see, I don't think I have, let me just go over to here. Where am I? Yeah, this is me. Like this one here, this shows viewed. What do we do? Did we do any? No, we didn't. Fred viewed it. Sorry, at the end I didn't finish anything. There should be a completed one with the PDF, but I don't have it here because, yeah, it's not. Okay, let's go back over here. Any questions, you guys? Take advantage of being here. Hello. You guys are so quiet. I don't think I did it on this one either. No. So the client would get also a completed copy of the DocuSign document. Okay. So inside web forms, does everybody use web forms that's on the webinar today? Because inside web forms, you go and you create the contract, let's say, and you should have linked DocuSign, and then all you do, I don't know what you do now, if you're not using DocuSign from within web forms, what you do is you do a whole bunch of other steps, because you do it all on web forms and you save it somewhere, hopefully in the folder structure on your computer, but lots of people just throw it on their desktop, and then they go log on to DocuSign, then they have to go find it, then they have to go import it, right? You can actually link DocuSign and Authentisign to web forms, and then you go directly from web forms to Authentisign or DocuSign. It's unbelievable if you have not done that. Has everybody done that? Or do you need to know if they're linked or not? Yay, you're linked. Good. So you don't have to save everything locally, right? And then go to DocuSign or Authentisign to grab the document from your computer. Okay. Makes me sad. I find when I send the document to DocuSign from web forms, it makes me sign into it makes me sign into DocuSign. It could, depending on the timeout. I don't know what the timeout is, but that's it. You just have to log on to DocuSign. If you're using RoboForm, which I know you are, you guys notice me using RoboForm up here? RoboForm is a lifesaver. I can't tell you how many years I've been using it, but it keeps track of my password. So yeah, it's going to time out at some point that DocuSign, you link it, but it'll say, oh, log back into DocuSign, which kind of makes sense, right? So you just log back in, you can tap on here and get your DocuSign account and log in. Make sense? Okay, any other questions, you guys? While I'm here, take advantage of it, because I've got 20 more minutes and I was really fast. Now, also, okay, I usually immediately, but we'll check with Dropbox. No, check with DocuSign. Sorry, say that again, Pam. Yeah, you put Dropbox. I think you just mistyped. So the next webinar, you guys, if you are interested, I do them monthly at the end of the month. But I think in June. At the end of May, I'm away, so we'll be missing that. And yeah, I thought you just mistyped, yeah. And so the next one will be end of June. So if you have anything that you want me to talk about specifically, please email Ray or me, and I'll add it to the list, because I want to really give value to you guys. So again, for an hour, once a month, I can show you what, otherwise I just pick topics and hopefully you're interested in it. That's kind of what I've been doing. But really, 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 if you need some help with some stuff, just let me know what it is and I'll throw that in for the next webinar. Questions. So ask your questions now. If the text edit is missing, is this normal? If the text editing, so a little more specific, what do you mean by text? On DocuSign? Or on PDF Expert, or which on DocuSign? Let me go back in. Good question. It should not be missing. Let me just go back to this guy, and I'll just pretend I'm going to correct it again. Just so back here. Next. Okay. Text. The text field is right here, Karen. So I just throw it here. This is the one where we always want to say read only, right? So let me get my keyboard back up here. So blah, 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 whatever. Okay. And you can type it in. If I tap on this and highlight it, I can type the words in here. This is where I type, or I can type it in the actual yellow spot. Any text field or any field can be moved as long as you highlight it. And most of them can make bigger or smaller depending on what you do, right? You don't want it to look like that. You want to move it over here so the typing looks good. Let me see on my desktop. On my desktop icon is missing. Sorry, it is missing. I still don't know what you mean. Sorry, Karen, on your desktop icon. You want to unmute yourself and say that verbally? Feel free, because I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Okay, so again, if you're going to do editing on DocuSign, you want to set signing order and you want to make the text fields read only. The other fields are the other fields that we would be using, like signature, are read only by default and required. If it's not a required, if you haven't noticed this over on the right-hand side, if this signature spot here, and I know this isn't a real one, but if this signature spot here isn't required, I can just go like that. So the client could sign it or not sign it. It doesn't matter to me. Initials do the same thing. They're required by default, but if you have a spot like BC resident, I can't remember what exactly it says on that form, and you could put 2 not required initials and ask them to fill it out. Now, you probably want to talk to them first and ask them what they are and put it in there, Canadian resident. Okay, does that make sense? Date signed. This is another one that if you don't have to do anything, but when it gets to the client, and they open it up, it puts the date stamp in there, if you didn't know that. Okay, Karen, are you good? Are you going to unmute yourself, or are you all good? Any other questions, you guys, on document signing?
Hey, Darci, I found it.
Oh, okay, Karen. Good, good,
Thanks.
good. You're welcome. Thanks. So again, I don't really care what you use. My preference is DocuSign, just because the mobile app is much more robust and easy to use than the AuthentiSign one. And I do think, if all things being equal, most clients have heard of DocuSign. They probably haven't heard of AuthentiSign. But if you use something, use one of them, because you're going to save yourself hours and hours and hours of time, right? Does that make sense? Hours of time, because you think about the last time, you actually didn't use a document signing and you had to drive somewhere, right? The price has gone up. I see I'm signing up again. My last company changed to SkySlope. Oh, Garth, that's interesting. SkySlope. I haven't heard of that one. So is that linked in with, I can't remember, through Dotloop? Oh, your thoughts on Dotloop? I think they're all good. There's Dotloop has, DocuSign has like a transaction room too. Some of them, you have the basic version, then you also have these other add-ons, which usually brokerages have. And they will have so the conveyancer can see it when you add certain things up to the transaction room, or Dotloop has, I can't remember what they call it, but they all have something similar. So just use something. I'm a big fan of DocuSign. It's probably because I know it very well. And I teach at the board, so I'm always reviewing it and they're always making changes. And what I do know is that CREA gives you a discount on DocuSign. I think it's only $50 a year, so I think that brings it to $249 Canadian, I think. Remax has even a better deal. I think you guys get it for $150. Any Remax agents out there? I think you get it for $150, $125, something like that, which is really cheap. And of course, AuthentiSign. Some boards have AuthentiSign. So people are just using AuthentiSign because it comes with the board. I don't know. I just think if it doesn't work very well and it's free, then who cares, right? Okay. I just checked 156. Which one's 156, Garth, for DocuSign? Is that with who? Yeah, okay, with DocuSign. Is that for Remax, or is that just might be in US too, depends on where you are. But always, yeah, just the realtor version. Okay, so there's a few different versions of DocuSign for realtors too. There's some that only you can do 5 deals a month, or 3, I can't remember, 3 deals a month, something like that. If that's in your, because it's way cheaper. And then there's the full version that is around, I think the regular price is 2 something. I don't know off the top of my head, but you can check it out, okay? Okay, any other questions, you guys? I don't know SkySlope. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out. But they're all the same. Honest to goodness. If you understand the process, it doesn't matter if there's some new one. Pam, Remax gets a $205 discount. Oh, no, not 205. 20%. I actually think it's more, Pam. I'm almost certain it's more than 20% because I've seen the bill, and I check it out. Talk to your managing broker. But basically, whatever you choose something, because if you understand the process, right, you get the document, you got to edit it. Some document signing software have editing tools inside it, some don't. So either you're using that to edit it, or you're using editing software. Editing software can be anywhere on your mobile app from free to with ads, right? to 10, 20 bucks, whatever, not a month, one-time deal usually. And then once you're edited it, then you want to add the initials and signatures, right? So once you understand the process of how it is, this doesn't really matter. Like I could go and do it on Authentisign right now or SkySlope once I understood because they all look the same. Authentisign looks similar to DocuSign as SkySlope does. Am I saying it right? Yes. .loop does, right? They all are very, very similar. It's just that one of the reasons that if you are a web forms user, I would suggest that you stick with the ones that are attached and integrated with web forms, which is Authentisign. Fall Tour is the Quebec one, which I believe we can still use, and DocuSign, and then there's one other one which I've forgotten. There's 4 of them that are linked to web forms. Okay. Again, if you want to take advantage of me helping you for the hour and a half, I have a deal. Ray is on it. He already put the link in there. Love to help you. And please, again, actually, Ray, can you put the link to the questions? Actually, I can do it. I'm going to put the questions. This is an open question. Let me just put it in there. If you can tap on that. And if we're at number 20 now because I've covered everything that everyone's ever put in there. If you want me to talk about a specific thing that troubles you, whether it's software or a flow of how something works, of course, if it's my specialty. If not, maybe I can have someone else on and help you out. So you click on that, everybody has access to it, and just add what you would love to see on our next webinar, which will be on June 30th for this one. And Ray, actually, can you put in the link in here when our next, I do other free webinars. He'll put it, it's always on my website, actually. Let me just show you. Darci, sign up for my newsletter. You'll never miss one. So the newsletter, webinar, and events, I'm just redoing my website. So this one is today's, and then going Google. So if you guys would want to come to this, a lot of my clients that are on here, you don't care. I opened it up to a few more people, but May 10th, I'm going to talk about the importance of having a proper business email, not a Yahoo or a Shaw or a forwarder or your brokerage email, why it's important to have a proper business email. And I can't tell you, like, it's really, honest to goodness, it will change your life if it's done properly. So if you're using a personal email for your business, you want to come to this webinar, and make sure that you do. Okay, so again, it's just under darcitalks.com webinars. You can register, and if you're on my newsletter, you'll also get a reminder about that as well. So I think we're good. I don't know. I don't see any questions that I missed that I'm just looking through here. I don't think so. If I did, ask again. Otherwise, I guess we're good to go. We'll do a replay. We always try and record these if we can, and we'll put it up on the online school, if you're a member of our online school. We'll also post this one on Facebook. I really did you learn something today? Right? I think a lot of agents don't really understand how they can muck up a contract using DocuSign. So hopefully we'll put that on Facebook as well, on our group, and up on YouTube, and you can check it out and watch the replay there. Okay? Okay, you quiet group. I guess I'm out of here. I don't see any other questions. And thanks, Melvie. Nice to see you. And thanks again, everyone, for joining and showing up. And if I can help, you know where I am. All right. I am signing out. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.